Catch. I think you dropped it. But that's okay, because I hope that I have caught your attention. And if I have and you haven't clicked off the video already, I'm going to be talking about impulse control today. And more specifically, how impulse control in my current life has been, well, a lack thereof has showed up, and the reasons why this has showed up. Let's get straight into it. I'm going to start you off. I'm going to take you 3 days back. I have 2 massive assignments, which I've just completed, but I had 2 massive assignments due today, and I was stressing, dude. I was like, there is so much to do, it's so little time, and I'm like, ah! But I got it done. I got it done. However, something had to give. I still kept active. I still got the work done, and I was relatively productive. But I realized that I was starting to fall back into negative habits that I used to have while I was studying during year 12. And these habits were eating unhealthy, eating and consuming a lot of sugar, and just scrolling on YouTube Reels, because I don't have Instagram or TikTok. And I realized that this comes down to a lack of impulse control, a relatively weak impulse control. Because I felt like I was in a similar situation to where I was while I was doing year 12. However, I didn't quite know another way to get through it. Which is why subconsciously I just did it. I just started scrolling again, and I started consuming a lot of sugar. And it was really frustrating me, because now, 2 days later, yes, everything's done and I feel great. But I also feel terrible at the same time, because that sugar and the sedentary behavior, just sitting down all day, it's catching up to me. And that's only from 2 days, right? Imagine if it was even longer that I was doing this for. And it's that lack of impulse control that has made me go into this situation. I didn't know what else to say there, but let me switch it up a little bit. Let me tell you what impulse control is, and it's your ability to resist your temptations. So using myself as an example, it'd be that temptation to just pick that phone up and start scrolling. It'd be the temptation to look away and then look back, and then look away and then look back, and then pick up the chocolate and eat it. Because my mum loves baking, and she makes delicious sweets, and there are always sweets out everywhere in our house. And most of the time, especially when I am not stressed, when I'm feeling all right, I'm feeling relaxed, I'm all good, I just walk straight past. I'm not interested whatsoever. However, when I'm stressed, when I'm really feeling the pressure and the tension, those treats look a lot more tasty than they normally do. A lot more tasty. And unfortunately, my past habits, I have been eating them. And even though I have been eating them in the past, that is what feels comfortable. So reverting back into those old habits, that's what feels comfortable. And that's what I did. So now through realizing, through having that self-awareness that this has been a past habit and this is something that I have been doing for the past couple days, what am I going to do to change it? What am I going to do to break that habit? To leave it in the past and to move forward with my actions? I've raised that self-awareness. I know that it comes down to that impulse control. comes down to resisting the temptation to pick up that biscuit and eat it, to just keep walking, to choose the water over the Coke, the water over the Sprite, the lemonade, whatever it might be, to choose the healthier option. How am I going to improve? How am I going to get past this? The solution? Discipline. And discipline ties into that impulse control, because your ability to resist the temptation and do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Something Hamza says all the time. Do you think David Goggins loves going on those runs? Those 100-mile runs at 4 a.m. in the morning when no one else is awake? No. The reason he does it is because no one else is doing it. And it is because it's boring. No one else is doing it, and it's hard. It's that discipline that gets you through this situation. And that takes courage. That takes an enormous amount of courage, because discipline is something that is slow, it's grueling, and it can feel like it is taking forever to do and to achieve. Yet it is something that every millimeter that you progress is a milestone. Every time that you say no to that chocolate, every time you say no to the biscuit, and every time that you pick up a fruit instead, you do something productive instead, you get closer and closer to achieving your goals. To wrap up this video, it is your impulse control and your ability to resist that temptation that will help you improve your emotional intelligence. For me, this situation was directly linked to eating habits and the habits that I used to have while I was studying, eating out of stress. For other people, it might be blurting out whatever they think mid-conversation, whether that thing is offensive, rude, or just blatantly cutting people off. They are well-intentioned, yet it's that impulse control that can really help you build better connections with other people, because people love talking. I literally started a YouTube channel because I love hearing myself talk. I know, right? Who would have thought? Especially if you'd known me 2 years ago, when I was still at school, I was the complete opposite. And now, I don't shut up. I got a bit sidetracked there. Going back to the impulse control. For me, it was, well, the example that I used is my eating habits currently, today. And I'm going to hold myself accountable to this. I've told my accountability buddy, if you know, you know. And I've also made this YouTube video. And by making this video, by sharing it with the world, well, I have to take action now. I have no choice. Action. Full stop. Period. You might not necessarily have the same issue that I'm having, but you might have it in a different area of life. For example, when you're communicating with people, or even when you're at work, when you're at school, you interrupt people. I'm not saying you do. I'm saying maybe you've noticed it, because your emotional intelligence is starting to improve now, and you're getting it to a level where you're able to, you know, and you are able to acknowledge what you're doing. Yet, it's taking that next step and changing the poor habit. If you take one thing from this video, your impulse control paired with your discipline helps you interact with others better. It helps you improve the quality of your life through doing the hard work. Regardless of how easy, hard, slow, or fast the thing takes. But it's doing the stuff that you hate. Resisting the temptation to interrupt. And that is how you start creating the life that you want. You start connecting with the people that you want to. And you start leveling up your life step by step. I hope you guys have a good day. And as always, progress starts with you. Take care.